Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah. If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah.
This is the move. For those who
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Latino Conservative. My name is Andrew Alvarez. It's great to be here. Let me get this set up where I'm supposed to be again. So, again, if you're joining me for the first time, hey, great. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If you've been a fan for a while, great. Thank you for being a fan. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know that you're there. Drop me a comment. Let me know that you're there. Let the algorithm take effect. We're definitely fighting a culture war right now and fighting against other things that like to keep us silent. And so where have I been? I did my first broadcast in a long time on Saturday. It's been a while. I understand. My apologies. In case you didn't know by now, I'm running for U.S. Congress, U.S. House of Representatives in Texas District 9. That's taking up a lot of my time, and it's really important. The guy that's in office right now, I'm not going to mention his name, not going to give him that clout, but he has the clout already. He's been in office for 20 years. It's time to change that because Congress is broken right now. 82% of people of the United States, that's 82% of Americans, believe and think and feel that Congress is broken. They're unsatisfied with Congress. I am unsatisfied with Congress. I feel like even though there are some Republicans out there that are really good, for the most part, we are underrepresented. Underrepresented. So that's why I decided to put my name in the hat. Because people like me, people like you watching this here on TikTok or here on YouTube, we are underrepresented. And I'm not just some guy off the street that just randomly decided, hey, I'm going to go run for politics, try to make a name for myself. No. I've been involved in politics in one way or another for quite a while, over 5 years at least. So not too terribly long in the grand scheme of things, but I've made it known since then. I've been interested in politics since, I want to say, Bill Clinton days. I didn't know everything that was happening. I just know that things were happening. I knew he played saxophone because I played saxophone. That's why I got interested in it. You know, I played saxophone in high school while he was playing saxophone in the White House. Great. Awesome. I think he was the last decent Democrat that we had. Then Bush, then Obama, then Trump. Here's a secret. Here's a little secret. I'm going to tell y'all here. I actually voted for Obama the first time. I grew up in a very Democrat family. I didn't know the difference. You know, I just went along with the flow. Growing up, if we didn't do what our mom told us to do in the Latino family, we got la chancla. You know, that was taking it easy on us. I started doing my own research, thinking for myself. And I realized, hey, man, you know, this guy ain't so good. I didn't vote the next year. And next thing you know, this guy is killing American citizens. You know, even though they're different countries, he's bombing and droning U.S. citizens. and he's getting away with it. What's going on? I don't like war. I don't want war. We're going to talk about war here in just a little bit too, so don't think we're not going to talk about that. But I like war as much as the next guy, which is not. I'm not part of the military state. I'm not part of the military franchise companies out there that make millions and millions of dollars every year, billions of dollars every year on war, on weapons and manufacturing firearms and bombs, all that good stuff. I'm not part of that. But doesn't mean that I don't know that I don't think it's necessary. You see, without companies like that, who's going to build our armaments? But at the same time, they shouldn't perpetuate wars. They shouldn't cause wars, and they shouldn't be happy about wars. One thing I actually agree with AOC. She said that she wants a ceasefire in Israel. I kind of agree with that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that people aren't taking into account. If there's a ceasefire, let's say Hamas and Hezbollah. Let's say Hamas ceasefires by themselves. There's peace. Israel will also ceasefire. Let's say Israel ceasefire by themselves. They're going to get overrun. Hamas is going to still attack. So Israel is defending themselves, which is quite okay with me. But let's go back a little bit. What started this? In case you haven't figured out the topics on this that we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the war in Israel. Joe Biden went over to went to Israel. We're sending troops out there. And then we'll talk a little bit about the GOP and Jim Jordan. What's going on there? Just a little bit, not a lot. So, when did Hamas start planning this war? Start planning this attack? There's reports that they started planning it about 2 years ago. What happened about 2 years ago? Think about it. Think about what happened 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, that's right. Joe Biden took office 2 years ago. Isn't that right? About 2 years ago, Joe Biden took office. So what does that mean? They weren't planning on this when Donald Trump was in office. They waited for the weakling Joe Biden to go into office so they can start making these plans. Next thing you know, they have paragliders going into crowds of people at a concert, mercilessly murdering them. And I know that word is going to get flagged by YouTube, but oh well. Now, Joe Biden is going to Israel. Why? For peace talks? Heck, you can do that over the phone. You can do peace talks over the phone. It's safer. It's easier for him to get around on the phone. The guy can barely go upstairs of a plane. He can't ride a bike. I'm not sure if he's even allowed to drive anymore. If it weren't for the Secret Service driving him around, I'm not sure if he'd be able to drive his own car if he had the opportunity to. But he's he's in Israel right now as we speak. Now, I don't support Joe Biden, and specifically his policies and what he's done, but I support the office of the presidency. I want the president to do a good job. I want the president to be successful. Just like everyone else should be. Just because they are a person that we don't like, we shouldn't automatically write off the whole office. I want him to be successful. Meaning I want him to have good policies. I want him to finish his term. You catch them putting him down there? I want Joe Biden to finish his term alive. Partially because we have Kamala Harris waiting in the wings, and oh my goodness, you think we're in hell right now? Just wait till she gets in office. Joe Biden going to Israel poses a huge security risk. Huge security risk. And here's the thing. If something were to happen over there while he is overseas in another country, that would automatically, practically without any other options, put us into a full-on hot war, retaliatory hot war with Hamas. I mean, we've already got Lindsey Graham, basically saying that he wants to bomb Iran without proof, evidence, or anything like that. So if something happens to Biden over there, we go attack Hamas. Guess who is going to try to attack us? That's right, Iran. We also got Jordan, Egypt. I think they're staying out of it. But, Russia. A lot of Jews came from Russia. But what does that start to look like? Gog and Magog, maybe? Maybe a little presumptuous on that. And I'm not trying to be dogmatic about it at all. But still, I feel like I've read this before. Just on text. And in language that they didn't have the exact words that we use right now. But either way, what are we supposed to think? What are we supposed to do when our president is over there and if something happens to him? Yeah, you're dang right. We're going to go to war. We are going to go to war. Now, the conspiracy theory is, I've heard this from multiple sources, that they are sending him over there so something can happen. So something can trigger a war. And quite frankly, I think Joe Biden over there is going to trigger a hot war with the United States involved, which would involve Russia. Undoubtedly, China will do something, more than likely just invade Taiwan. So that puts us in two conflicts right away. Ukraine, we're there. We're hot. We have a hot war with Russia right now, just by proxy. And Israel. Janet Yellen from the Federal Reserve said that we can't afford two wars. How on God's green earth can we afford two wars when we can't even keep our borders secure? We can't afford to do that, evidently. There are millions and millions of homeless people out there. This shirt right here, Stop Soldier Suicide. Every year when I can, I do a march for them. A 20-mile ruck or 50-mile ruck. It's cumulative. It's not all at one time, but still. We can't solve this problem here in the United States. We can't. So, how can we afford two wars? We can't afford to keep our government open, but we can afford to pay Congress while the government is shut down. They'll still get their paychecks, but we can afford two wars. If there's a government shutdown, we won't be able to afford the U.S. Post Office, yet they'll still have to run. We won't be able to afford TSA, yet they'll still have to work. Millions of other federal workers, Border Patrol, ICE, Customs. We won't be able to afford them, but they'll still have to work. But we can afford two wars. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to Israel, I totally side with and stand with Israel. I believe that's God's country. They were there. The Jews were there first. Moses, Abraham. They were there first. They were given that country, that land specifically by God. earlier this in the 2000s, they gave the Gaza Strip to Palestine, who, by the way, are descendants of the Philistines, which is where Goliath came from. So go figure. But there's always been that war there. Like it seems like the Philistines and the Jews. But the Jewish people, Israel, gave that piece of land to Palestine for them to have peace. So has there been peace since then? I don't think so. I don't think there's been a lot of peace since then. It seems like it's just a never-ending war. There may be breaks in between it, but there's always that war going on. Why? Because it was written about in a book about 2,000 years ago. Actually, that one was probably written about 3,000, 4,000 years ago. Somewhere around there. Now we have different congressional representatives. Specifically, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is one of them that are calling for a ceasefire. Now, I can't say that that's all bad, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want a ceasefire on both sides, and she even brought that up on both sides. She said something that came out really good, and I forgot exactly what the exact words were, but it was along the lines of, we need to be strategic there, and we need to cease fire. So strategic planning to make sure everything goes great. Perfect. You know what? Awesome. That is totally awesome. I really wish more. I mean, she's had some Republican talking points there. I wish more Republicans would be like that. But they want to feed that war monster because it makes them money. Follow the dollar, follow the money, and you'll see who's representing who. At this point in time, there's a podcast, Tim Pool, Timcast IRL. I forget who is that says it on his podcast all the time. But his concept is he wants to see which companies, which entities support which representatives by having them wear jackets like they do in NASCAR that'll have all their logos on there. I think that'd be a phenomenal idea. Transparency, That would be a great response. Other things about the war, there's been some debate on whether Hamas sent a rocket to and hit a hospital, or if Israel sent that rocket and it hit a hospital. This is another one where I am oddly enough agreeing with the Democrat Joe Biden, of all people, the president, who can't seem to tell the truth to save his life. But he said that he saw no evidence of it coming from Israel. Now, there was an analysis done on there that showed the rocket leaving the ground in Gaza, and what they made it look like it was, what it appeared to be was there was a malfunction, because the rocket was ascending into the sky, and then the booster failed, and the payload fell down and then exploded when it hit. Let's watch this scene here. Okay, I will stop it there. So even Hamas is admitting that it was their rock. Yet people on the left, they've already told the story that it was Israel that sent the rockets up. So those people who don't do their own research, who don't think on their own, that's already fact. That's already truth. Undoubtable truth. So things like that scare me. We don't have a chance to go in and debunk anything to make or bring out the truth before they start saying, hey, that's not right, or you're lying, or whatever. They go with the first headline they see, and that's it. I've seen posts from the New York Times, New York Post, just about every periodical out there. Starts off as one headline, then they change it, then they change it again, and then they change it again to make sure that it's right, quote unquote, right. But that initial story is just what they put out there to get the initial clicks, the initial advertisement revenue. So the timing of this and everything else that's happening, really and truly, I feel like I've read it before. I've read the Bible, or not front to back, but I've read it in pieces, in pieces a few times already. Specifically, the Book of Revelations, Book of Daniel, where there's lots of prophecies in there, and I feel like this is what's going on, because there's a verse in there specifically. Don't give me the don't get me line on the actual reference number, but saying that Jerusalem will become a burdensome stone. Basically, it's going to be a problem. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. It also talks about how all the countries surrounding Israel will attack Israel in one way or another, but that God is going to somehow supernaturally defend Israel, whether it's with or without the United States' help. God is going to somehow supernaturally defend Israel. I see all of that happening. Truthfully, I'm curious to see what God is going to do to glorify his name and defend Israel. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see how many people that will save just witnessing that. And vice versa. It kind of scares me too to think that some people still won't get it. But either way, I will move on. So, Jim Jordan, Speaker of the House. Headline from Newsmax says, Jordan lost second ballot. 22 Republicans vote against Jim Jordan, against him. So this is a gentleman that Matt Gaetz has endorsed. Troy Nehls from here in Texas said in a tweet that he got off of a conversation with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump endorsed Jim Jordan. I know Donald Trump was tinkering with the idea of running for speaker himself, but is not, for whatever reason. That's his choice. That is definitely his choice. If he wants to, or if he doesn't, that's up to him. He can do that even though he's not a member of Congress. While I can stand there and I can fight with Matt Gaetz. In fact, if I win the elections, I will, because I love what he's doing. I'm not going to be one of these just sit around and wait guys and just throw my hand up and vote guys, like the guy that's currently in there for 20 years in District 9 in Texas. No. I'm going to actually go in there and make some noise. That's what I do. But, dot. When Gaetz brought up the plan to oust Kevin McCarthy, I don't feel like he had a plan to replace him yet. See, that's where he and I would have been different. I would have gone in and started the process before. can and get the votes, because you kind of know who is and who isn't going to vote for the new guy. But what I would rather have happen is make sure I have the votes secured to get the Speaker of the House elected that we want, rather than firing the current speaker and from there hoping and praying that whoever we select as a nominee will get elected as Speaker of the House. Because the Democrats, they're going to pick one person, Hakeem Jeffries, the same guy that they put up against Kevin McCarthy the first time, and they were that close to taking it. They're that close to stealing the Speaker of the House, even though the Republicans had the majority. Kevin McCarthy got ousted because he went behind Republicans' backs and secured Democrats' votes for a CR for the budget. I have no doubt in my mind that there are rhinos sitting there right now on the right side of the aisle, if given the correct concessions, will vote for Hakeem Jeffries. And it won't take that many. All of a sudden, we've got a Democrat as a Speaker of the House again. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of that because then, nothing the Republicans want will get done again. The Republicans have been weak. We won the House. Slim majority, mind you, but we won the House. And we've been weak. We've been slow. Granted, there is a Democratic Senate and a Democratic president, but we can still get shit done. Pardon the French. At least bring it up, make people aware of it, and stop taking issues like dog collars to the Judiciary Committee. No, we need to stop that. We need to stop that. That is why I am running for Congress. Just one of the reasons why I'm running for Congress. Stupid stuff is happening in Congress. Congress is broken, and we need to fix it. So if you want to help out with the campaign, go to aaforcongress.com. You can see how you can help there. Or if you go to this screenshot here, scan this QR code. It'll take you to some links, the links in the bio page that I have, where you can see the website. Every Thursday at 6:30, I have an open question and answer session / mini town hall, however you want to call it. You can submit your questions there too. You can set an appointment, whatever. You don't have to be in the district that I'm running in. You don't have to be in Texas District 9 at all by any means. You can be anywhere in the United States, in the world. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Drop me a few bucks in the campaign fund if you want. That would help out a lot. Because again, I'm just a regular guy. I don't have millions of dollars in PAC money. In fact, I don't know that I will accept PAC money. I haven't found one that aligns with my beliefs yet. And to be honest, to be truthful and honest, the more conservative PACs, because they're out there, they will not endorse prior to the primaries. They won't. And I think that is to the detriment of Republican candidates. Because if there's a strong candidate in the primaries that they can help boost during the primary season, there may not even be a primaries, but that extra time in front of people's faces that could be had by pitching in just a few bucks. Getting that extra name recognition, from now till March, could help push that Republican candidate over the edge to where they have a fighting chance to beat the Democrat candidate. So if you're out there and if you're a conservative PAC, Republican PAC, please go to aaforcongress.com. See what I've got. If you're an individual, $5, $10, anything will help get me out there more. Because to be honest, I still can't walk. That's another place that I've been. It took me 2 months in the hospital. And I don't feel comfortable walking out there yet. I've got people out there that will walk for me. Great. I'm doing this digital part of it, which is great. This is what I excel at. This is what my job is. But I need every little bit. Doesn't mean just because I can't walk right now doesn't mean that I'm not going to fight. Hell, I go in the trenches with anybody out there. I'll fight for you and I'll fight with you. So if you want to support the campaign, there's a link in the description. It says campaign links. It's a bit.ly link, or just go to aaforcongress.com. If you want to support the podcast, go to the latinoconservative.com. There's a green banner that says Chime. If you don't have Chime right now, Chime is basically an online banking. You get a debit card, you can get a credit builder account. When you sign up, we both get $100. That's another way that I help. I don't have any big corporate sponsors or anything like that, but you can help out like that. You can help by hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, sharing the content, and dropping a comment. So I'm looking here, see if there's any chats that I want to look at here. I don't see any right off. So, hey, thank you on TikTok for hitting the like button. I really do appreciate that. For you on YouTube, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. And don't forget, always be a voice.